I got a question.
Okay.
On the SF30, the contract ID code, you've got it all X'd out. What goes up there?
How many X's are there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, so that's going to be our lien number.
That is your certificate of live birth number.
Oh, the COL. Okay. Thank you.
See what it says? What was the example for? Certificate of live birth. Now, when you do one for the Social Security, for the SSN, you'd put the Social Security number there. Okay? If you're going to do something else, basically like your driver's license, you'd put your driver's license number there.
Got it.
You can use these things for anything out here. Court case. But basically, most court cases, they're going after your driver's license.
Right.
That's what they're charging. Because they're state courts. And the one that the state can charge, and all these courts are contractor courts. They're courts for the contractor. The state of Iowa, or whatever, is the contractor. You are basically the owner of the contract. Okay? And that's why you have the power to change the contract. And that's what the 30's doing. You're going to modify the contract to where you want it to go, not to where they're trying to make it go. They're trying to control you with that contract, but you own the contract. They're the servant. Okay? Harry S. Truman, that little communist traitor that he was, he set up the GAS system in 1949, the year after they changed and modified the birth certificate numbering system so that they could use it in their commercial contracting systems. Social Security wasn't around, but they were building onto it in the process. Most of the country didn't get under the Social Security until in the late 50s or early 60s. Okay? Selective service was not in place. They brought it in afterwards to bring in the military complex in under Eisenhower in the damn system so that they can control military expenditures for the corporate bankers. Don't make this more complicated than it is. Throw all that other garbage out that you've ever heard in the past, all the way back from the Treaty of Paris to all this other garbage out there that the King of England owns the damn treasury of this country. That's total bullshit. Okay? He owned assets that belonged to the colonies, okay? But the colonies did not own the national treasury of the country. That was still controlled by the Cherokee Nation. Because it was the Cherokee Nation that basically gave the $80,000 that allowed the purchase of Louisiana, or the Louisiana Purchase. There's a lot more to history than basically most of you, these experts out here, have ever heard of. But, oh, they're so God Almighty know-it-alls in the damn process. Don't even understand how the damn communist system out here has been operated for years.
What you doing down this way?
Most all of our contracts are non-construction contracts. In other words, we're not building anything essentially with them, but they are still operated in the form of construction contracts, in that they have to have a performance and a payment bond. But they're not like building a house or a skyscraper or basically a car or anything like that. It's all monetary contracts. Okay? So you basically We are the ones that control those contracts. When we gave our signature, we basically allowed the setting up of the surety, the bond person, in our name to be the surety. But these communist shitheads out here, banker rip-off artists, we were supposed to be the owner and the principal assured in the process. But see, they've modified the contracts in the background, and that's why all these people are in prison, is because they're being held as the principal surety. All those people had to do was assign the surety over to the bonds, and they had to be released. Because we're supposed to be the assured. We have to live by the commandments. The initial 10, and now the American 15. The 16th through the 27th commandments are commercial commandments. They're not valid American commandments. We're the federal government in this country. The president, the governors, the senators, the congressmen, all those people down there, they're the national government. The federal government, we the people stand over them. And they're not supposed to violate the commandments. But why do you see no commandments on the walls? You should have a set of the 10 commandments on one side of the wall in the courtroom, and basically the 15 commandments on the other side of the wall. There is nothing about God in this. It's about the spirit of America. That's the God that basically is in charge of those commandments. Your spirit is the God. There's no hocus pocus, anything else out there. It's the universe. And your spirit is part of the universal harmonic system out here. They don't want to have those commandments in the courtroom because these commercial courts are violating every commandment out there. They can't even comply with the original constitutions. I said that. Especially Amendment 1, or Article 1, Section 10. But you have the hammer now. When you see the power, and basically people have gone into court and put that SF-30 in place and shut the thing down. It's not the OP-90 and 91. It's not the SF-25 or 25A. Those are commercial contract performance and payment bonds. We use the 14, the SF-14 for the surety. We, the living, are over our bond person. That's the way I try to write the example up there for you. And then basically the SF-1416 is the payment, or the payment bond for you to go in and get an adjustment for your labor. Right now, you're getting paid peanuts in labor value. You go out there and work an hour, basically you're not getting an hour's worth of pay. Most of your pay is going into the bond side of that payment bond. The performance contract or payment or performance bond is the SF 1418 form. Your utility bills, your traffic tickets, anything like that goes against the performance of the contract bond to be set off there. Taxes will come out of that one. And then basically you can modify this, the whole thing, and liquidate them per UCC section 2A-505. You can come in and order the termination of or cancellation of these contracts and settlement. That goes right along with the second sentence in paragraph number 4, section 4 of the 14th Amendment. It also goes along with the Expatriation Act 249 that was signed the night before the Expatriation Act. But for H.R. 192, we, the people, we were the bailors bailing out the commercial government in this country that has continuously fucked us over in the process because they're a communist organization. They're operating in the same way that the East India Company was doing prior to the Declaration of Independence. And the fraudulent King of England. This isn't that hard to figure out. But you guys, so many people out here are so damn educated, college degrees and everything else up the ass, and they can't even read a simple damn form and figure these things out. One guy called me out and said, "Hey, Joe, did you fill out the 1041 form when you got your 98 series number?" I said, "No, I don't owe any taxes. Why should I fill it out?" You fill it out, basically you're claiming that you owe taxes. Let them come after me and say that I owe taxes and prove it. They better bring the contract. But we can go in and terminate all these contracts, liquidate them, take the funds away from the corporation, the contractor, because the contractor has been getting all his brothers and sister-in-laws and everything else in to come and rip off our damn construction funds. That's what the courts are doing. Nowhere in the 15 American Commandments does it say you have to be controlled driving a vehicle in this country. You gotta know who in the hell you are and start operating that way. You want extra funds out of your Social Security account, you can go in and modify that Social Security account contract. Say, hey, I want some Social Security payments out of that compensation right now. And I'm only 55 years old. I don't have to wait until I'm 67 or 62 or whatever. Put the charge in. Send the SF-30, the 1414 and 1416 into the Social Security Administration. Tell them if they don't comply, you will bring in the Contractor Investigative Division into the process, the CID. This is what the CID has been waiting for us in all the 3949A forms that we've been submitting. We had to show them the contract modification, how we modify it, and how these guys are violating our modification order. It ain't that hard to figure out. Play with the forms. Read the damn things. And be leery about the lies that are in there. Trying to say that both the principal and the bond person are the surety for this contract. That's bullshit. We're supposed to be the obligee, not the obligor. We have the power in the process using the 1418 form. We're doing a charge off. Using the 1416 form, it's a charge back. We're charging that contract back for our labor because they have taken about 90% of our labor and put it into the bond side of that contract. 1969, one silver dollar equaled one Federal Reserve dollar. Today, one silver dollar equals 17 Federal Reserve dollars. How much are you really getting paid? Most of your pay is going over into this bond. That's why you have to go after the payment bond to get your labor, your true labor assets back. You charge back. You can look up those two definitions in the dictionary. But you have to be able to read between the lines when you look at some of these definitions. I've told you that for years. I want to thank the persons that basically sent these things, these items to me. They sent me a bunch of other SS forms, but I looked those over and I said, no, we don't need those. We only need these simple ones. I was already looking at the performance and the payment bonds in the process when I was going in under the bills of credit and the bills of debt scenario. But this is where we now can put the hammer down, showing that we are the contract owner. The fictions can't own anything. The contractor can't own anything. State of Iowa, United States, Hillary Clinton. She don't own shit. She's just a damn thief. And most of these people out there in politics, 99.99% of them, there may be one or two good guys out there, but they've all been polluted by getting kickbacks into a retirement program that was never under the Constitution, never under the commandments of the country, that they were supposed to have a retirement. They were supposed to work and set up their own estate. The national treasury of the country was there for the disposal of the people from day one. to pay a debt, to borrow from, if needed. If able to pay it back, pay it back. The amendment that changed and gave the people the right to vote for the senators, that was a violation of the original Constitution and the commandments, the 15 commandments, that violated the rights of the state, the sovereignty of the state, republic. The two senators were really supposed to be working for the republic state sovereignty, okay, in the process. The congressmen are supposed to be working for the sovereignty of the people. And right now we know who in the hell the damn president's working for. They're working for their own damn back pockets. They're commercial bankers. In the last 100 years, there's only been one president that tried to act like an honest president, and that was JFK, and it killed him. He was trying to look out for the rights of the people. None of these other presidents have ever really done that. Reagan was just a figurehead, a puppet for George W. Bush, the banker, fraudulent communist, Hitler protege banker.
Right.
This call and all the information that I put out on this call is not for basically trying to tell you about the history of what has gone on fraudulently, all the people and everything else that have been killed. That's not really what I'm here to try and explain to you. I'm trying to show to you that everything all the way back to Cain and Abel has been about commercial banking or just banking. Everything involves around banking and banking contracts. There isn't one thing in that Bible that does not refer to that in some form or another. So many of these damn treaties have been fraudulently passed. Yeah, some people may go over there and be a representative to the treaty and sign on to it over there, but then lo and behold, later on, you find out that the treaty was completely changed in the process, just like the Treaty of Paris was. It was fraudulent changed. Our representatives were hoodwinked into the damn scenario. But a representative can't be the one to sign up on the treaty anyway. It has to come back and be approved by Congress. At least here in this country, that's the way it's supposed to do. Same thing is supposed to be done over in England with the House of Lords or House of Commons. I can't remember which one's supposed to have the power. The king doesn't have the power to basically do everything for the damn country. The Magna Carta took that away from him. President shithead Obama doesn't have the power to put us into any harm's way. He's only a commercial banker. These commercial courts do not really have any authority over an American federal government citizen. Owner. That's why I haven't heard anything on those 3 warrants that I basically issued out against the county attorney, a magistrate judge, and a district judge. Because they ain't going to do anything, because basically they would also, those judges could bring them into complicity also because they're on the take. But they're not going to do anything to me because they don't want to take this into a court action, an Article 3 court action. See, you've got to know where your power is and how to handle and how to exert it. When I was in junior college, and then I dropped out after that, I was told that basically contractors, corporate people came out. They were really looking for the C students, more so than anybody else, because they knew that they were the survivors. They weren't out there to try and either glory people and go on down the road. They were the ones that basically had the common sense to do the work and get the work done. And that was from an old-time contractor that basically was out there looking for hire-ons. He didn't want the A and the B students. He knew that most of them were already controlled. Their minds were polluted because they really didn't think outside the box. That's why this country is not the great country it is, because most of the people that have gone to these colleges, they have literally just gone along with the bankers. Most of the damn buildings and everything in this country are banks or insurance companies, corporate buildings for lawyers, for attorneys. You have a few companies like basically Microsoft, that basically that turned out to be a rip-off country or company, ripping off the young minds, all for the corporate profits of the bankers. Bill Gates just turned out to be one of the guys at the head of the pack, getting certain benefits that the bankers would allow him to have. But everything there was still on paper. It's a paper empire, debts and credits. When you sit back and look at all this stuff, then you can start breaking this process down, and it's not that hard to see. Understanding that you are the owner of America, that corporations can't own anything, a fiction can't own nothing. It's we the people. Every one of the constitutions in this country, state or national, starts off with we the people. And we are the federal government people. We are the federated government of this country, as called out in the Articles of Confederation. Read the definition in Anderson's dictionary about federal. That UCC 2A-505. That is the commercial corporation. They have to comply with that. If we, the people, come in and say, we cancel this contract, then that contract is canceled. But we have to use SF-30 form in the process to process the cancellation of that contract.
Are you still using 15 USC 1 and 2?
They will be enforced against them in the process when we go to the contractors, to the Contractor Investigative Division.
So
that will be the charges that they can bring against them for the harm caused.
Basically, so you're not really using it as a defense.
No,
you're basically
we're using it as a tool against them that they are violating their own laws.
Correct.
Those laws are not ours.
Correct. Notice.
So that form, Patrick, is for the IRS Technical Support Division to send it to the IRS UCC Contract Trust.
For the federal contracts, for the state contracts, you go to your state treasurer or comptroller, or if need be, go to your attorney general's office.
All right, gotcha.
But in some cases, like your mortgage and everything else, you send it back to the bank. If they don't set it off and you give them the SF30, the 14, the 1416, the 1419, and liquidate and give you all the assets back, then you turn around and file your claim in to either the Federal Banking Commission or to the state bank. Treasury Department should have the jurisdiction over both of them, not the Department of the Treasury. The Department of the Treasury is one of the contractors in the process.
I have a question, Patrick. So I sent out my bill of credit, and they didn't respond within the 3 days. So this would be the
you need to follow this up and put these forms in, and
okay.
Basically you can take your utility bill, you turn around and you modify, and in the modification you set to do a charge off using the 1418, the performance bond, with the bill, and then you modify the contract with the SF30 and say you are hereby ordered to basically process all further bills of credit from the performance bond out here, not against me as the owner. You haven't broken the presumption that you're the owner and not the principal surety. You are the principal surety and not the principal surety, okay? Two different words, two different meanings, but we're the owner if you stick strictly to that. This is what's gotten people out of prison. This is what people have shut court cases down with. This is what people have used to go in with traffic tickets. This is what I was missing going in on my traffic tickets.
If we're to file these forms into a court case for, an ongoing matter,
why should you file it in a court case? You basically drop this off the clerk of the court's office, and you're a done deal.
Okay.
Okay? See, you're not the principal surety. You're coming in and saying, hey, take the charge against the bond person. That's who you're calling in the court, is the bond person. Unless you caused harm or damage and violated one of the commandments, and then that commercial court doesn't have control over you anyway. It's got to be a we the people's court at that point in time. It can't be the state of, that's only a banking court working for the banking contractor. You put your SF30 in and say, you do this. You have your driver's license. Basically, you get tired of basically having them haul you in there. Basically, you do the SF30, the 1414, the 1416, put down for $11.2 million on there. On the performance and basically also on the payment bond one, the 1416, the 1418. Put those down onto your SF30 and say, hey, I want these liquidated. I'm canceling these contracts. They're to be terminated and liquidated, and the remaining profits as identified in UCC Section 2A, 505, all the remaining assets out of those bonds are to be returned to the owner, to the one who files the claim. You are looking at the 25 and 25A and the 90 and the 28 and all these other ones that are basically the construction contracts.
Right.
These are non-construction. These are the banking ones that we were missing.
Patrick, can I ask you a question about the letter the letters that's inside the new folder? It's to the UCC Contract Trust Division. Do we need to send those forms to them as well if we did our non-UCC package?
Yes, you send.
Okay.
You send your Social Security card, your DD-214, your certificate of live birth. Those are national documents, okay, national contracts. They have to go into the Treasury and that is really the Treasury Department UCC Contract Trust Division that is standing over the Department of the Treasury, as the Department of the Treasury is the main contractor that the Social Security Administration works under, and they see that the Bureau of Vital Statistics and the Department of Interior and all these other fraudulent contractors work under, is under the Department of the Treasury. The Department of the Treasury is the commercial contractor for the Treasury in this country. And it was set up under Alexander Trader Hamilton back in 1791.
Patrick, I noticed that you have the contract start date about 3 months after your birthday.
I was born in 49, before they modified the damn thing and brought in the damn GSA system.
So, Patrick, I have a question for you. I noticed that you have certificate of birth. You have 11 numbers on there. Can you clarify that for me and help me out with that?
It's whatever your registration number is, okay? Some states, if you were born before 1948, okay, you had a different registration number.
Okay.
If you were born in Pennsylvania, if you were born in Massachusetts, you have, in some cases, a 7-digit registration number, okay? Now, some states, if you were born afterwards, they only put the last 8 digits, your 2 digits for your year of your birth, and basically then 6 digits behind that, and they leave off the district code number, 113 or 114 or 125 or whatever.
The red numbers to the left are, I only have 6 numbers, so...
no, this is not the red numbers. This would be the black number up at the very top of the form, where it says registration number.
Okay, mine has a birth number and a local file number. That's it. I was born in 1958.
Okay, it should be an 11-digit number. The one that you're getting, in some cases, will not have the registration number on there because that is a contract number, and they don't want that contract number out there to the general population of the world. That's a private contract number. Yeah, so you have to find out what your registration number, your real registration number is, and basically you can go down to the county you were born in and go into the recorder's office and get that from them. It's recorded into the book, the record book. You have a right to see that record book.
Okay.
I've gone in and looked at mine in the record book. They have to cover up the other 2 people that are on that page so that I don't see their record, that I can see exactly what my record says in the book. Why? Because I'm an owner. Because that record belongs to me.
So I'm all the way in. If I'm in Georgia, can I call, or I'll probably have to go in, and because they're not going to give it to me over the phone?
Look at what the forms say, okay? And you put down reason why you need this. I need a full copy for my private records. That's the reason why you want it. And then get that sent off to them.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Actually, 2 of them. The first question is when the young lady sends the information to the student loan company, can you also CC the CID as well, so they'll know that you already sent something, kind of like ratting them out?
No, I would wait until basically you send that in. Basically, you get that in there with these forms, and they will comply within 3 days. If they don't comply within 3 days, now this is a commercial banking transaction under this SF-30 form. You just modified that contract.
Oh, right, okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now, if they don't give you a response back within 30 days or 3 days, then you turn around and you go to the CID. You take a copy of these forms that you gave now you have your supportive information to the CID so that they could come down upon this shitting contractor.
I got it. The endorsements that the endorsements that we're writing on the back of the instrument or on a separate page, the language in there, shouldn't that be changed to non-construction? Because right now it just says construction contract.
Yes, I would change it to non-construction on those. Okay.
All right.
Modify it to the appropriate terminology. I had it wrong when I put those in but basically they're still being operated as a construction contract, but it's monetary construction, but it's not a construction contract. And see, that's what I didn't see because I didn't have these 14, 16, and 18 forms showing the difference between the construction contract and the non-construction contracts. And then hoodwinking us to becoming the surety when we're supposed to be the assured.
Did you ever get your truck?
No, because I haven't got the SF30 and the other forms in there yet, okay? Now, I've had people call me up and tell me that basically the 30 form is getting people out of jail, closing down traffic tickets, because it's now properly identified and you're modifying the contract to say, hey, you can't come after me, I'm the owner, you have to go after the bonded person, he's the surety. That's why they want you to go to court, so that they can file another charge against your performance bond.
I have something I'd like to ask.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, all right. I missed a few minutes, about 5 minutes back. I don't know if you mentioned.
Oh shit, you missed the whole call then.
Figures. Anyway, I don't know if you addressed anything about the voters registration. And since I have not done that, I don't know what's on there, but shouldn't they also, excuse me, also be including that?
Yes, I would include that one in there too, okay? And send that into the state treasurer because basically they're using that voter registration card as a contract, okay? A non-construction contract, so that basically all the shithead congressmen, state congressmen, and everything can go and write bills against your account. Use your account as collateral. And basically it probably should be in the neighborhood of another $11.2 million performance and payment bond. Same thing with your marriage certificate, if you're married.
Does it matter whether you're divorced or not?
No, the marriage certificate is probably still out there. They never really canceled it.
Okay.
Where does your offspring play a part?
You have to get taken care of yourself first before you can become out of the system. And basically then you go after your offspring as the guardian. They're under your guardianship until they turn 21. After that, they're unknown.
Would you suggest that the ones that have like retirement pension accounts, that sort of thing, and
close those all down, liquidate them,
do it at that time or wait?
Do it right now. I would start terminating everything. You start one, and basically after you get the one going, basically it should just be a repetitive item to do the next one, and then basically the next one's going to come even faster because you'll start having templates already set up but there, then now all you have to do is change the number. You got all the wording on there. Now you just change the number on it and change the title.
I can think of 1,000.
But see, I sort of screwed up on mine the other day when I sent it in. I was going right along with that, but basically on the one for my SF30 for the certificate of live birth, I had the damn Social Security number on there instead of my birth certificate number on there. They will come and help you in most cases, okay? But you can go ahead and start the process.
I see. All right.
Pretty much start making the state aware that basically they've got to turn around and put in the order and say, hey, state treasurer, I want restitution. I mean, you go into the Social Security Administration. If you're scared to death of this, just do an SF30 and a payment bond, the SF16 and the SF14, and send it into the Social Security Administration and say, I want another $2,000 a month into my Social Security account.
Wow.
from my payment bond.
Oh, that's crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah, they've got to
That
do it.
is awesome.
But if you're canceling it,
Wow.
if you're actually,
I'm talking about two different scenarios. If you're canceling it, you're going to liquidate the whole thing. But some of these people are so damn scared to death. Basically, try one thing. Basically, go to your utility company, get that set off, give them the order to take all future bills out of the performance bond, and don't bother sending me a bill until I come in and change this contract.
yeah.
Got a bunch of billionaires running around here and don't even know it.
Yeah,
I'm doing it
they
tomorrow.
won't send you another bill.
But clearly, the COLB, the Social Security, and the voters are the key ones.
Well, the certificate of live birth, the military for a man,
no, in the
the selective service number, okay, because it was really this was really set up to be a man's world, okay, and the women were supposed to be under the protection of the man, but basically in this commercial endeavor, when after Woodrow Wilson got the 16th Amendment into place, then they brought in the women's lib and basically started transferring the dowries from the women over into this new birth certificate scenario out here so that the government could turn around and use that for their benefit too.
Well, they did it intentionally so they could use it, right?
Yeah, and then basically those, the 16th through the 27th are all fraudulent amendments because they have infringed upon the original 15 amendments. They have taken away from them, and basically an amendment cannot take away from a previous amendment. They can only add to it, if anything. And by giving women the right to vote, that took and cut the man's voting power in half.
When we shut down the birth certificate, won't that basically liquidate all the other accounts?
No, it won't necessarily liquidate all the others because the contracts are already in place.
So you've got to liquidate every contract.
Every contract is a separate contract.
Okay.
They've already drawn the credits from the other one. So the credits are already sitting under this new contract that was derived from the original, but it's not, you know, you get going and basically then you can say, hey, I will work with you to shut them all down. Come and see me. Or you go ahead and start the process, but you just don't sit on your fucking ass.
And the bank account numbers also, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Even
any commercial
closed one.
contract you have.
Right.
Yeah. You got fucking more money than you know what to do with out there. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
All of them. I got so many bank accounts I've had. I'm gonna go back for all of them.
Now, what about the school registrations?
Basically, public school and everything like that. It depends on if you're out of there. Basically, that will probably have already been closed down. See that they were drawn against the damn contract, marriage contract in some cases.
So that would be under the mom and dad's, not under the.
Yeah, they were drawn against against your certificate of live birth and your marriage contract, because to get into school you always had to go and give a copy of your birth certificate of live birth to them.
Right, except for now they're asking for Social Security, and most of us on the call probably had a Social Security during that time if it wasn't at the beginning. So at the point you had the Social Security, it would switch over to the child, and they would be the one it would be under. So I would think two different numbers
they started
for each of those.
When they signed you up, okay, with Social Security. It wasn't really supposed to go into effect until you turned 18 if you read the Social Security card when it initially came out. But they have modified that recently, and see, that's what they do. They come in and they modify these contracts unbeknownst to us, letting us know that they've changed the contract on us, and then we're under this contract because we don't know any better, And that's why this simple little form, we can come in and terminate these contracts when we understand they're fucking us over.
Now we can change the contract.
Yes, we can order the termination, cancellation, termination, liquidation. You can be like Dorothy and throw a bucket of water on it and wash it away.
I think you should do a rap song about it. The way you just said that.
No, I just do a rap and rave.
I think you just did a rap on it.
I think you did too.
Oh, that's funny. Wow.
Yeah, I just can't believe these other people on all these talk shows and everything else. And basically they just keep going on the same thing over and over again. Going to court. And basically this guy's such an expert. He's got several court cases he's been able to shut down. Well, basically, how did he shut them down? He never says anything about using the SF-30, the SF-1414, 1416, or 1418. So how's he shutting these damn things down? Is he working for the damn bankers in the process to try and take them to court so that the court can turn around and file a claim against the contract? And then that's why the court shuts it down, because the court got a payment. So basically, they're just going to back off. They're going to be happy with the payment they got.
Yeah.
Because, see, the courts turn around and file their claims into the bankruptcy court against your contract.
Yep, against the case number.
Yeah, using the case number, or basically, they might file 2 or 3 charges against that.
Yeah.
And hell, if the damn traffic ticket's only $150, but they can turn around and file a $1,000 or a $1,500 or $2,000 claim for services against that driver's license by way of a bankruptcy court, and you're never the wiser. Yeah, they'll say, okay, we dismiss this, but we're going to file a service charge against your account anyway.
And then they get paid. Yeah.
Yeah, they do it. Go into the bankruptcy court website for the District of Columbia. They have a module session there to show the attorneys how to do this. We just didn't know what forms they were filing. It's not bankruptcy forms they're filing. It's the SF-30, the 1414, the 1415, and 1416. Primarily the 18, against the performance bond. And see, they really can't do the 1414 because they're not, they really don't have the power over their surety. But they, in some cases, they turn around and claim to be the trustee in the process. Anybody else have any questions on this?
Hello,
pretty simple, straightforward.
Hello, Mr. Patrick.
Yeah.
You're awesome, man. The show is awesome. I've been following you for the last few weeks now. My only question is, when you want to get out of parole or probation, I know that you said that you petition the Secretary of Treasury, you write a petition letter through IRS technical support. Do you still do that method, or you do the GSA forms instead?
Go in and get the charge that basically the parole has and file, find out what instrument what did you originally go into prison on, okay? See, that's what you need to really find out. And then you can put a charge back in against that, okay? And see, you can even take all your receipts, okay? You can do a charge off with the bill. You can do a charge back for your labor, for your incarceration against the payment bond, and you can do a charge back against the performance because basically it was a fraudulent. You did the time, okay? So now the performance bond owes you because the performance bond didn't do the payment for you. You did it. And you find out what the instrument was that put you in there and then put a same fraudulent claim against the parole department because they're just continuing to try and rip you off your contract.
Wow.
See how the game is played? It's pretty damn simple.
So, Patrick, on these receipts, so that's debt basically that's out there, and we're just reclaiming the debts with the credit money?
We're claiming our credits back, okay?
Right.
Okay?
I got it.
And we're trying to get our credits back to where we get enough credits back, like basically, like I said, I was making $2.25 back in '69. It was in silver. At today's value, that'd be $40 an hour, okay, in Federal Reserve dollars now. How much are you getting paid an hour right now?
$12.
If I was
Huh? $20?
$12. $12.
$12.
Yeah.
You make
that
more
isn't
than
even
me.
one silver dollar. See, the wages of people has gone down. You're working for slave wages.
Man.
Your wages should have gone up as your education and everything went up. But it hasn't. It's gone down. So you're working as a slave right here in America. You're making less, in some cases, less than those Chinese people are over in China.
Yep.
Man.
And you're worried about them coming over here.
Yeah.
You can do the same charge off for old cases that you've already served your time for and all that. You can do charge offs on them too.
Some cases you're just going to have to forgive and forget and get on with your life. Okay?
All right, I got you.
Patrick, how do you deal with the IRS in a situation like this?
Hell, they're easier than shit there.
Yeah, the IRS is easy.
Yeah, you just take the performance, take the bill that they have, put it off against the performance bond, turn around and put a payment bond in there, a charge against the payment for like $50,000. Hell, we've heard of people going in there and taking a $5,000 penalty, marking it up for $15,000, sending it back in, and getting $10,000 paid back. Well, how did they do it? They had to use these forms, but they never told us that.
Okay.
Wait until they give you another $5,000, and then you can charge them for even more.
Yeah, but once you do it once, they ain't going to do it again.
Okay.
Because you're going to be shutting the whole thing down, and basically then you'll never be taxed again anyway. Because you're not using their banking system any longer.
What is the account? The Social Security account that they go off of?
It all depends. Hell, I've gotten bills from them for my damn 98 series number, for my state EIN number, for my Social Security number. See, the EIN numbers also set up another contract that has $11.2 million in there. You can do a complete liquidation of those and send those into the IRS. See, you've got 4 damn contracts out here, and see, that's what the problem is. All these contracts have bonds out there. That's why the damn DTC has quadrillion bonds in circulation. Hell, there's more bonds in circulation than there is Federal Reserve dollars. And that's a no-shitter.
Patrick, do you think hunting licenses and fishing licenses fall under the same category?
You basically run them through and see, okay?
Okay.
I think anything that the state can do, basically they're going to put a damn charge against and basically make it a non-construction contract. So just do them all.
Alrighty.
Okay.
All right.
Hello, Patrick.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you? I heard about you recently. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get yelled at for asking this question, but I'm going to ask and take the answer as you give it to me. What about child support?
You go against the marriage contract. The marriage contract has $11.2 million in there on both sides, from basically the male side and the female side.
Okay, no, what I'm saying, child support getting taken out of my check.
That's what I'm saying. You're not the principal debtor.
Okay.
You're not the principal surety. The bonds for that marriage license are the surety. That's why you have to use the performance, the 1418, the 1414, and the 1430, and put that into the Attorney General's office and tell them, now take the damn credits out of the damn appropriate bonded person.
Okay, but there was no marriage, though. Is it still the same process?
Well, how can they take child support out of you if there was no marriage contract?
They say it's my child, and being that he has the child, that I have to pay child support.
Then you send it in your Social Security account.
Okay.
Find out what they're charging. Ask the court, what contract are you charging here? You take your SF-30 into the court and your 14 and your 1416, your 1418, and said, hey, I need to know what contract to put on these forms so that I can order the proper set-off.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
You're the best, man.